Welcome to my 25 days of Christmas, day 21, and today we've got something sweet for you, a crowd pleaser, cheeky geezer, Yule log. Let's get it. Yule log. A little bit forgotten as far as Christmas desserts are concerned in my books, but I do love it. It's simple to make, and once you've cracked the technique, you can take this across any flavour that you want. Today we're doing the classic chocolate with a milk dark chocolate ganache, good amount of whipped cream in the middle, and a stunning light chocolate sponge. First off, we start by getting our eggs into the bowl. Sprinkle over your sugar and put that onto whisk. This is going to take a long time to whisk, so a machine will help this process. In the meantime, we're getting our self-raising flour and our cocoa powder into a bowl. Give that a little mix together just so it disperses nicely. So when we're incorporating our ingredients together, it's seriously important that we mix well. Sieve your cocoa powder and self-raising flour into the bowl. Then with the Maurice, you want to fold in, cut and fold that cocoa powder and flour into your mix, trying not to get rid of any of the air that you've created through the whisking process. Now that is the sponge done. I've got myself a lined baking tray. We're going to pour it out onto the baking tray, trying not to push out the air when we do so. Flatten it, give it a little knock, and that'll go straight into the oven. At this stage, the sponge should be beautiful, shiny and flat. This is going to cook perfectly and rise beautifully while it's in the oven. When it's cooked, take it out and we're going to fold it onto a greaseproof piece of paper. Carefully peel away the bottom layer. We're going to roll the log into the shape that it will form at the end of the cooking process. This basically helps the sponge remember the roll so it doesn't crack later down the line. So roll it tight at this stage. You want to make sure it's really cylindrical and very, very tight. To hold this roll in place, I use cling film, so it should look a little bit like this. We're talking a sharp, clean roll of sponge. Now the ganache, this is going to be on top of your roll. We're bringing cream up to the boil and then we're just simply going to crack in some dark chocolate. Do this when it's off the heat so the chocolate doesn't get too hot, but this recipe is super simple. If you've got the dark chocolate with the right amount of cocoa solids, this ganache comes together beautifully. I've just given it a little blitz with a Bamix. This helps fully incorporate the fats, the chocolate and the cream, but it's by no means necessary. I cover with a cartouche of cling film. This is just to stop it forming a skin during the cooling process. Now, the filling, chantilly cream, double cream and icing sugar and a good hit of scraped vanilla. Bring this up to very soft peaks and you're ready to build. The reason we bring this to soft peaks, not hard peaks, is because we want it to spread over the sponge without splitting. You're going to continue to move it in this process. Cover the whole surface area of the sponge with the cream and then roll back into that iconic log. At this stage, it's starting to resemble that classic Yule log shape. Cut off the end at an angle and then reposition that on the side of the log so it looks like a little branch. By all means, you can put less cream in it so it's got a few more swells, but with the richness of the ganache and the lightness of the sponge, I think you need a good amount in there to hold up to all of it. Now when I build my log, I want to build it on whatever it's going to be served on. I'm serving mine on a board, but if you're serving yours on a platter, then do this stage on the platter, just so you don't have to move it once the ganache is on and it's being forked. The ganache should slide on ever so elegantly, and now we add some texture to the log. I do this with the back of a fork, but you can use whatever you have available to you. A little grate of chocolate over the top to give that dull, barky texture. Good amount of icing sugar as a sprinkle of snow, and then you can decorate this however you like. I've gone with a little bit of tempered chocolate in the form of Christmas trees, but you can use buttons, you can use shards, you can use whatever you have available. Or just leave it au naturel and stick a sprig of holly on there. And that's it, your log completely done. Now this is a game of patience, so don't rush it whatever you do. Make sure that sponge is properly chilled, the ganache is formed and chilled in the fridge. If you get it right, you'll end up with a banging Yule log for your Christmas table. Avant Yule!